Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Now, I've been getting lots of questions about cannabis and marijuana the past couple of years, especially since it's been legalized in so many states here in the U.S. Of course, most of the questions are sexually related, which is what I'm going to cover today. Basically, the top 10 ways cannabis can affect your libido, your testosterone, sexual performance. I'll be covering the top 10 today, being testosterone levels, how does it affect that, your libido, your sexual drive, both physical and emotional, your orgasm quality, your premature ejaculation, does it cause it, does it increase it, erectile dysfunction, also man boobs and gynecomastia, sperm quality and fertility, sexual pleasure and sensations, does it increase it, does it decreases, and also how marijuana affects the differences between men and women. Now, one thing I like to mention before starting, just like any drug, marijuana affects everyone differently based on genetics, hormones, and of course, the type of cannabis and ultimately the dose and frequency. Of course, I am not condoning the use of marijuana and never break the law. I'm just here answering the top questions I've been asked. And please make sure you also type your questions and experiences below in the comment section so I can address them in the future. And I'll be doing future videos about this topic, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel and click that notification icon so you'll be notified. Okay, so I'll start with the number one question, and it's how does marijuana basically affect testosterone levels? Now, generally speaking, chronic use lowers both total and free testosterone levels while increasing the sex hormone binding globulin at the same time, which is why that happens. Yes, there are studies that show otherwise, but like I said, too many factors are involved and studies are never done very accurately. However, anecdotally, and in my opinion over the past few years, after talking to guys and people who do use it and doing blood tests, I can for sure say that using cannabis does lower testosterone levels. Now, if you still want to use it, again, that's fine. It's your life. Just take some other natural herbs and vitamins that will actually do the opposite and quickly fix this and actually increase your testosterone levels so the cannabis doesn't do the negative effects. Let's talk about premature ejaculation. Now, a lot of guys have premature ejaculation, or at the very least, they'd like to last longer. Now, some studies have shown that men who frequently use cannabis orgasm quickly or quicker and complain about being dissatisfied with the length of the sexual performance. However, you'd think with the lower testosterone levels, they would last longer. Again, not sure, depends on the person. Now, another thing, ironically, is that even though using marijuana may cause you to orgasm faster than you'd like, apparently your orgasms typically last longer. This is even more evident in women. I'll get to this a little bit later. Of course, there's no science behind this, just basically a lot of anecdotal and user feedback. Now let's talk about man boobs and gynecomastia. There is also evidence that shows that men who use lots of marijuana tend to develop man boobs, or what's called gynecomastia. Now, why is this? Well, for one reason, the lowered testosterone levels may cause an imbalance and thus actually leave you to have higher estrogen levels and balance the ratio, which then causes, small breast growth. Another reason could be that people who chronically use cannabis tend to also, let's face it, eat more food and then they get fatter. And fat cells produce their own estrogen and thus can then indirectly lower testosterone and thus cause gynecomastia. So this happens indirectly or directly. Keeping in mind, genetics also plays a role here. However, hormones can definitely trigger genes to turn on or off. Again, if you want more information about balancing your hormones and increasing your testosterone levels, take a look at the information below in the detail section. Now let's talk about sexual pleasure and sensation. It's been shown that having sex while, high on pot can actually increase pleasure and sensation. Now, maybe this is why men, end up actually having premature ejaculation. Their sensation is higher, it's heightened, so, they orgasm quicker. And I think this is also the reason, and also the fact that, maybe you're just more relaxed, maybe you're some more focused on the sex, and you're less distracted while, you're high, rather than the opposite of being sober. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is erectile dysfunction and even impotence. Now, this is a big topic for guys. Not being able to perform really kills your confidence, not to mention your manhood. As stated earlier, while some people aren't able to last as long after using marijuana, others weren't able to get it going at all. Studies have shown that erectile dysfunction is 3 times more likely for daily cannabis users than non-users. Again, this comes down to hormonal imbalance and the increase in estrogen and female hormones, which we do not want, while simultaneously decreasing the primary hormone that controls your sex drive, which is testosterone, which, again, the opposite is happening. So either decrease your cannabis use or improve your hormones by using the information that I've listed below in the description area. Next, let's talk about sperm count, quality, and fertility. If your goal is to have a baby or you care about your sperm, you better think twice about using cannabis. And a 2015 study found that male sperm count drops by 28% if they use marijuana more than just once per week compared to those who didn't use it at all. That's right, just once a week causes a 28% drop in sperm count and quality. Again, all hormone related. Now let's talk about libido and sex drive. Now, another fun fact is that while marijuana may cause a decrease in testosterone and cause erectile problems, as stated earlier, it may not have the same negative effect on your libido. Now, one study found out that people who use marijuana were more likely to have more sexual encounters and partners than people who do not use cannabis. And basically, on average, marijuana users had about 20% more sex than non-users. Again, this study isn't, about scientific effects about marijuana and how it affects the brain, but it does show you that if you use marijuana, you're probably going to get lucky a little bit more than the guys who don't. Of course, this also has to do with the environment, the people around you, lowered inhibitions, age groups, you're out having fun, you're at a party, more opportunity, so on and so forth. So again, not very scientific. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the difference between men and women. Now, most of today's talk was geared towards men, but how does marijuana affect men and women, and women in their sex drive? Now, in one study, it showed that women who used cannabis before sex were basically 2 times happier, twice as satisfied. They reported higher sex drive, improvement in orgasm, and a decrease in pain. And I think with women, it maybe has more to do with their mind, allowing themselves to relax and have lowered inhibitions, similar to alcohol. And similar to alcohol for men, marijuana may relax them and give them a little bit more confidence. Unfortunately, their physical performance suffers due to the negative hormonal effects of both marijuana and alcohol. And for some, cannabis just makes them tired and completely disinterested in doing anything, including having sex. So let's talk about the bottom line. What does it all mean for you? Well, you need to see how you perform and feel, all right? It always comes down to you. We're all different. You need to be honest with yourself. One thing is for sure, that chronic use of cannabis, even 1 or 2 times weekly, let alone daily, for sure negatively affects your hormones and causes negative sexual performance, all right? So you may consider using a lower dose or less often, less frequent. And also make sure you improve your hormones at the very least. If you're going to smoke pot or use it, cannabis, improve your hormones naturally, increase your testosterone levels. And you can do so, again, by using natural methods and herbs and vitamins and stuff. I've listed all that information below in the description area, so make sure you take a look. Remember, herbs are very powerful, all right? You just need to use them correctly. So make sure you're subscribed. I hope this was helpful. Click the bell icon notification. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Wishing you a very happy and healthy day. And leave your comments below about what your effects are with cannabis and what questions you have for the future. Thanks.